Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to be answering your guys' questions about our new build. So I did put up a post on YouTube and I asked you guys to ask me questions, any questions that you guys had in regards to the process or in regards to our new build. So I am going to be answering that today. So I did get a few questions. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible. I'm going to try to make my answers as informative as possible, but also as short as possible to just, again, not make this super long. So if you are interested in the questions and the answers, then please go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, so I'm not going to go in any specific order. I'm literally just going to answer them the way that the questions came in. So the very first question is it best to buy a new build or a home that's already built? So I've had this question in the past before, and I just feel like there's really no right or wrong way of answering this. I think that it depends on what you are looking for. So when we started looking at homes, we were looking at homes that were already built. We didn't have new builds in mind at all. And they were, I will say they were less expensive. They were about maybe $60,000 to $90,000 less than what we are paying for our home now. But the homes did need renovations, not necessarily because the homes were like in horrible conditions or in bad conditions. It was mostly because they didn't have the stuff that we wanted, like the color of the walls, the tile, the color of the cabinets, the countertops. So all that in all the homes that we saw, there was not one home where we didn't have to touch or like we didn't have to do a lot to it. Again, not because the home was in bad shape. It was mostly because that's what we wanted. So once we went into a new build and we were able to get everything that we wanted, I feel like it probably would have ended up being the same thing with all the upgrades or all the changes that we had to do to a home that was already built. We probably would have ended up paying about the same as we are paying for our new build, except for with our new build, obviously we're doing it all at once, all together. We're walking into the home and it's already done versus one that's already built. It would have taken longer. We would have had to go through the process, finding contractors and all that stuff. So again, I feel like it just really depends on what you are looking for. I don't really think that one is better than the other one in my personal opinion, but again, same thing. It just goes back to what you are looking for. The next question that I got were there any incentives you were able to get from your builder, and was there room for negotiation? So we did get two incentives from our builder. One was we got $10,000 for upgrades. So pretty much they provided us or gave us the first $10,000 of upgrades, and then the next thing that they did, the next incentive, was they are paying for closing costs. Closing costs can get a little bit pricey, but again, thank God we are not paying for closing costs, and then we got the first $10,000 from our builder. I don't think there were anything that we were able to negotiate, and I will say that the only reason we got these incentives is because we are using their lender for the home. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there. It's not necessarily because we are building with them. Had we not gone through their lender, then we wouldn't be getting any incentives. So I just wanted to point that out. The next question is, how long has the new construction process taken so far since signing? So we signed the contract on November 9th. November 7th, we made the offer for the lot. November 8th, we got an email saying that we were the highest bidders. And then November 9th, we signed the actual contract. Today is May the 18th. So from November 9th, which was signing day, up until now, it's been 6 months. And we are at the framing. Well, framing has been officially done. So framing and windows are up. Now we are moving on to plumbing, HVAC, and the electrical. So 6 months so far. Next question is, have you personally caught any mistakes that you had to bring up to your contractor, or has everything been smooth in that department? So we do go to our home, I want to say maybe 2 to 3 times a week, and we do go inside, we walk in. Typically we go in the afternoons, like in the evenings, because there's no workers there by that time. I have caught a few things as far as the framing, to where like some of the wood was cracked, like when they're nailing in the wood. I'm assuming they use nail guns, like the nail doesn't fully go into the wood, it kind of like goes to the side and it cracks the wood. So we did find a couple of those. I have taken pictures of them, and we were supposed to send them to the construction manager this week. However, we went last night and all the ones that were cracked were already replaced, so we didn't even have to get to the point of telling them. But I do take notes of everything that I see that I don't like, or that I feel that there's a mistake or there's something wrong. Again, so far it's only been wood, like pieces of wood that I just feel like, oh, this one looks bent or this one is cracked, and like I do nitpick. And the only reason why I do that is, one, because I am paying a lot of money for this home, and that this is my home and I am paying for it, so I have the right to nitpick. But yeah, that's the only reason. I have the right to I have the right to nitpick. So yeah, if I see something like as far as like the wood, because again there's nothing else right now besides the actual framing, I do take pictures, I point it out. But again, we went last night and everything was fixed, so I didn't actually even have to say anything. But other than that, no, we haven't found any like big mistakes or anything that we had to bring up to their attention. So I guess it has been pretty smooth as of right now. The next question is, do you have any regrets about any changes you made to your home so far? So I've said this before in previous videos, the only thing that makes me a little bit nervous is the flooring. Don't get me wrong, I love the tile, like the design of the tile and everything. What I am not too sure about is the actual color. So the inside of our home is gray, and I wanted gray tile kind of like to match the walls, but the tile that we got, which I'll insert a picture, is not fully gray. It's like gray with kind of like brown undertones. So that is the only thing that makes me a little bit nervous. When she put the setup all together of everything that we were getting, it looked fine, but I'm still like which makes me nervous, just for the fact that, you know, replacing tile is not cheap. But it is what it is at this point, and I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But other than that, no, I don't think I have any regrets. Sometimes I wish I would have gotten the waterfall island, which is, I'll show you guys a video that I took at the model home. But I guess to do the waterfall, like the construction of the actual island was a little bit different, or it changed something about the island. But to do the upgrade, it was $6,000, and that didn't include the actual granite. Like, you still had to pay $6,000 plus the granite that was used to do the waterfall. So it probably would have came close to $7,000. Sometimes I do wish I would have done it, but at the same time, I'm like, $7,000, that's a lot of money. I could probably just do it later. And then the next question is, what were the reasons you chose your builder? So I think that the main reason that we chose our builder is we just love the layout of the home. We saw so many new builds, but out of all the new builds that we saw, this was the best layout for us. Obviously not everyone likes the same thing, but for us it was the best layout. It had literally everything in our bucket list except for like the 3-car garage. My husband really wanted a 3-car garage, but since we added a 5th bedroom, we had to like get rid of the third car garage. But other than that, I feel like it had literally everything in our bucket list. Like, we love the open concept. So just like the floor plan itself, I feel is like what made us go with our builder. Other than that, I don't really think there was like anything special that they offered or anything like that that made us go with them. So it was pretty much the house itself sold us. Next question is, how long did it take from signing to knowing when you received the permits for your build? So we received the permits for our new build, I want to say it was like January 25th or 27th, somewhere around there. But the main reason why we found out, so it was almost 3 months, but the main reason why we found out was because I started bugging them about it. Like, I started calling and sending emails because we were getting really close to the 3-month mark. They told us that permits would take 2 to 3 months, so we were getting close to the 3 months, and I'm just like, there's nothing going on. Like, I just want to know something. I want someone to update me. So I ended up reaching out to our sales consultant. He told me that the permits were there. And then when I talked to the construction manager, he's like, oh, you were on my list for me to email tomorrow to let you know that we have permits. I don't know if he was lying or not, but yeah, so once we were close to the 3-month mark, I started asking for information. So that is the reason why I was told. But again, according to the construction manager, he was supposed to reach out to me the very next day to let me know that permits were in. So they did take almost 3 months. How long has the process taken so far? So again, we started November and we are now in May. So from signing, from the point that we signed November up until now, it's taken 6 months, but construction didn't actually start till late February, beginning of March. So I guess for the actual building, it's been about 2.5 months. So 2.5 months since they started building, 6 months since we signed. How many times did they change your closing date? So far, it's only, I guess technically it's been, I don't want to make this a super long answer, but so when I first called the construction manager to find out about the permits, I did ask him for a kind of like time frame, and he told me end of July. When we had our first official meeting with him where he like discussed the building process, he said end of June. I don't know if he got confused or not, or you know what the case was, but I didn't correct him either, and I didn't ask like, oh, last time you said July, you know, this time is June, like, are you right, or like, are you getting it confused? Or I didn't ask anything. So very first time I asked him, he said end of July. When we had our first official meeting, he said end of June, and now they moved us over to end of August. So I guess technically twice, but not necessarily, maybe once if he got confused. But I hope that after that it doesn't change. He did say that he really doubts it'll go till the end of June, but I mean till the end of August, but hopefully beginning or mid of July we'll have our home. The next question is, what time frame / timeline were you given by your builder? We were told 7 to 9 months. We were told that the entire process from beginning to end, so from the moment we signed to the moment that we receive our keys, would take 7 to 9 months. Again, we are in month 6, so it looks like it might be taking closer to the 9 months. Other than the design center, what is your favorite part about the process? Well, I'm glad that she said other than the design center, because that was literally going to be my answer, the design center. I think the whole process itself, it's fun, just like seeing your house be built from the ground up. But besides the design center, because that would be like the main, like I think that was like the most fun part, is actually just seeing the house being built. We went from like, you know, so many like digging and concrete, and like everything was just like literally just the floor. Like there was really nothing going on. So I was getting like super frustrated because I am like a very impatient person. But I think the most fun part is like actually seeing the house go up. Like when the framing went up, I think that was like by far the best part. Like it's like so surreal, like seeing your house being built. The next question is, what are your children most excited about? I think that they're most excited about having a community park, like being down the street from our home. And then 2 is that they have we let them choose their bedroom, and of course they chose the biggest bedroom in the home, obviously besides the master. They chose the biggest bedroom in the home. So I just so every time that we go and we get down and actually walk in, that like they literally spend their whole time right there, like planning out where their beds are gonna go and all that good stuff. So I think just the area itself and their bedroom is like the biggest thing, or like what they're most excited about. Next question is, where did you get your inspiration behind your choices in the design center? Can you show pics of inspo if you have any? I do go on Pinterest a lot. Pinterest is like my best friend at the moment, but I feel like as far as the design center, there was already a way in my head that I wanted my home. When we were at our other home, or like our rental property now, we had started renovating our home, and there was a specific way that I wanted the house. And because we ended up, you know, moving out and renting it and now buying our new home, I was never able to finish that house. So I feel like everything that I wanted in that home, I basically put it into works for our new build. I did it exactly the way that I expected our rental property to be. So I didn't necessarily get, I want to say, inspo from anywhere. Like as we were going, there were I kind of just went with like my taste. Like as we were going, I was like picking and choosing stuff. But I want to say that other than that, it's mostly on Pinterest and just the way that the model homes are too. When you walk into the model homes, or when we were walking into the model homes, we were just looking at all the stuff that they already had, and like whatever we liked, we took a picture of. And then, you know, just in between my husband and I, you know, I want to say for just as far as design, we almost have the same taste on everything. So that made it pretty easy and a lot more fun than us like, you know, disagreeing on everything. But yeah, I feel like, to answer your question, mostly Pinterest and actually walking into the model homes and seeing it already, you know, be put up and like in person. I feel like that's where most of our inspo came from. And then the last question is, what do you and your husband like the most about your floor plan? So I feel like the open concept has to be by far number one. We love the fact that it has an open concept. Our other home does not have that. A lot of the things were like separated by hallways and stuff. So we love the fact that it is an open concept. The other thing that I love so much about our floor plan that I have been wanting for a long time is a big closet. Our closet, if you have seen our previous videos of the model home, our closet is going to be huge, and that's all I've ever wanted, just a really big closet. And then my husband's favorite part of the house is the shower. The shower for him is the shower, for me is the closet, but for both of us together is the whole open concept of the home. But yeah, those are all the questions. I really appreciate all of you guys that asked me those questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And then hopefully for my next video, I am working on doing the video of the process from pretty much the new build process part 2 from where I left off last time. That video, the last thing that you guys saw was where they poured the concrete. So I will do a second part to that up until where we are now, week by week, what happened every single week. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.